Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the broadcast. We're going to be hopping into a Protoss versus Zerg as we start up here in the top right-hand corner of the map. Top of the red Protoss player. Give it up for the Notorious, aka Rotterdam 08. And his opponent's flying down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. We have the blue Zerg player. Give it up for Shine, or Shino, with a very weird character. Most likely played on the European server where they allow these kind of strange characters to be put in place. But anyway, should be a pretty cool PvZ. This is played on Proxima Station, and this is on the most recent ladder map season, where this is, I think, the second season we've had Proxima. A lot of people feeling a little bit on the edge about it. Some people like Proxima, some people really don't. Rotterdam, I think, is one of the players that will probably enjoy Proxima, just because this has been a very nice map for air sky toss play, and Rotterdam is a big fan of the Stargate play in general. Loves his Phoenix, loves his Oracles, loves his Carriers and Tempests. I mean, the old Roddy build that you used to talk about back in the day was literally Proxy Tempest. Rotterdam is also known for going Phoenix DT quite a bit, so I imagine that he's still probably one of the people that enjoys this map a good bit. Either way, though, it looks like Shino going to be going for that natural expansion on the low ground. Just taking the more forward position so he gets that creep spread going a little bit earlier on. Spawning pool coming out behind this, and also Zergling speed most likely going to be following this up. Everything looking pretty standard on both sides of the map. I talked a lot about Rotterdam. I'm not actually too familiar with who Shino is. It's worth noting that even though both these players are currently in Masters League as the time that they played these games, I imagine that both of them are Grandmaster level players, because I know Rotterdam is a GM level player, and I don't know too much about Shino, but this game happened before Grandmaster was out for the season, so there wasn't really an opportunity. Even Neeb, even Nurchio were not in Grandmaster at the time that this game was being played. Natural expansion finally taken over here for Rotterdam, though. Goes for a pretty early one, as well as his Nexus is finished up before his Cybernetic core is finished up, so this may even be a Nexus first. But Zealot coming out just to add that little plunk in the wall, plugging it up and making sure it doesn't take too much damage from a big Ling run by or anything crazy that could be coming out. Shino still is not taking a natural expansion, but it's pretty okay to take it as late as 3 minutes and 30 seconds, so he's still got another 40 or so seconds to work with. Zergling speed on the way, and it's just been doing nothing but droning, really. Has gotten out 4 Zerglings and walking their way around the map, looking for proxy locations, looking for pylons, looking for shenanigans. And I like it whenever a Zerg player does this. I'd love even more if he split up these Zerglings a little bit. But looking for the scouting probe or pylons or anything is always just a really good use of your time with those early Zerglings before anything really happens early on in the game. You can see that Rotterdam does have his first Adept out. He's going to be waiting for that second one before he moves out across the map, most likely. Getting up Resonating Glaives from that Twilight Council as well is going to be looking to probably put on some form of pressure. But I guess the question is, how many gateways is he going to throw down? Is he just going to go up to 3 more gateways, going up to 4 gateways and putting on some pressure? He's going to just stick around on 3? Or is he going to just go gung-ho, go for 7, and try and end this game nice and fast? So far, only 2 gateways being thrown down, but the Overlord, with its watchful eye, is keeping an eye on exactly what Rotterdam is up to. So Rotterdam may just be waiting until he has an opportunity to knock this guy out of the sky, but with more depths on the way, doesn't seem like that's really a part of his plan. He has not grabbed his third or fourth gas geysers either, so there is a potential that he does something with all of those extra minerals. Work production has not been halted just yet, so if he halts around 44, I will be a little bit more concerned. Looks like the Adepts did try and get a little bit of damage on. Ooh, 6 workers killed. I do apologize, missed out on a bit of that. As we were looking around to see what damage or scouting Rotterdam was going to have. A Baleen S is on the way. Ling's starting to flood out, as I think Shino knows the Adept timing is going to be hitting pretty gosh darn soon. We do have the 3rd expansion underway, though, and no additional gateways were thrown down. In fact, quite the opposite. We have double Forge thrown down. So Rotterdam looking to power into a mid and late game stage macro Protoss. Twilight Council has finished researching Resonating Glaives. He should be ready to move out for a round 2 if he so chooses to, but he didn't really warp in too many more Adepts. In fact, he's kind of halted on Adept warp ins. I don't actually think he's going to be really preparing to do a big adept attack as you normally see off of the 3 gateways. In fact, yeah, we end up seeing charge already being researched. We have a robotics facility, the double forge, not quite researching anything just quite yet, and there it is. +1/+1, starting on up. With this many links, he can easily catch all of these adepts out in the middle of the map. You're going to be able to pick off a majority of them, if not all of them, as, yeah, they're not even sending out their shades just yet. I think it's still on cooldown, but Rotterdam's going to give these guys up. That's a pretty big loss. That's a pretty substantial loss. He does have a mothership core sitting inside his main base. He might be relying on it a little bit to make sure he doesn't die to too much of a counterattack, but looks like not too many Zerglings ended up surviving, so just a handful of adepts with some more warping should be enough to deal with this. Now, Shino did not grab a really quick 4th expansion or anything. He did get up a really quick +1 melee attacks, which is going to be beating out Rotterdam's chrono-boosted double forges. But as soon as those +1/+1 finished up, he's going to have a nice little advantage, that 1 upgrade advantage. And there we finally end up seeing the Hydra Den coming out. There was a Baneley Nest thrown down earlier, but luckily for Shino, he didn't end up investing any of his gas into those Banelings just yet. Hasn't really lost too many of them. So he should still be in a pretty decent spot. 7 gateways on the way, though. Charge is now finished up, and even though there's a lot of adepts on the map, it is going to be the big follow attack that I'm a little bit worried for Shino. Queen gets shaded on into, immediately taken out, just shutting down a bit of that creep spread, but no detection to shut down any more of it. War Prism now moving into the main base pretty soon. Zealots being warped in, and the 4th expansion is going to get found out. So Rotterdam has been able to maintain a pretty decent position in this game, I feel like. Shino's got a great economy going, but he really needs to get up this 4th expansion to make those workers really pay for themselves. And oh my god, a kill, not a cancel from Adepts of all things. That was a huge blunder. Maybe just trying to deal with the War Prism, seeing that, reacting to that instead. The Zealots with charge are going to be able to easily take on all of these queens, and there is just not much of a reaction because the Lings trying to deal with the adepts on the 3rd expansion, or the natural expansion, whatever you want to call it, but even they are struggling. Hydras are starting to come out, but the Zealots are taking out the macro hatchery. They're taking out some of these Hydras. Rotterdam doesn't even need to control this very well. He did lose the War Prism, so eventually this kind of Zealot harassment in the main base is going to get taken out, but I mean, at what end? GG gets called. Rotterdam takes the game with a very, very clean victory, just putting on some form of harassment, attacking in 2 places at once, and claims victory very, very easily. So, well played by Rotterdam. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the game, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh my god, more adept shading on in. I guess Rotterdam trying to see what his opponent actually had. Yeah, he even ended up losing that natural expansion to the charge. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time.